All right, what is going on, my family? So I am talking about, is DJ Vlad a culture vulture? So the short answer to that, honestly, it really depends on who you ask. I don't think it's a yes or a no. I think it really depends on who you ask. Hearing from the artists that have been on his show, and first, let's define what a culture vulture is. A culture vulture, in a nutshell, is somebody who's not part of a culture. They're from the outside and they come in, they benefit from that culture, and then they take those benefits and they make profit off of it, whether it's monetary or recognition, and then they kind of go on and don't give back to that culture. And then sometimes they go a step further and act like they created the culture because they're getting larger than life. So with that being said, if that's the universal definition, I don't know, everybody might have their own definition, but that's what I hear a lot of these artists say a culture vulture is. So by that perspective, my question to the artist, if you feel DJ Vlad is a culture vulture, then why go on his show to begin with? He's not part of the culture by your definition, but yet you sat in front of his, go on his show, have a dialogue and sat down with him and do multiple shows after show after show. And now you're saying he's a culture vulture. You know, it's kind of like, hey, if he didn't fit your criteria of what a culture vulture is, then why give an opportunity, right? Now, I've heard some artists say stuff like, well, I want to use this platform because I was able to express a lot of conscious views that a large part of the community is not aware of. Wait, that's very noble of you. But guess what? That's not the only reason why you went on there. Let's be honest. Some of you go on there because you haven't really been relevant since the 90s. And this is a good way to get back to the younger generation who doesn't know who you are. Some of you going in there for a paycheck, because I'm pretty sure you sign contracts before you go in there. You have some type of deal. You don't just show up and talk. And I'm sure that you have an arranged meeting and check to go on there. I've even heard artists go on his show and say, hey, I don't do shows unless I'm paid X amount of dollars. So that tells me he must be paying these people. So, there's a variety of reasons why people go, but a lot of conscious people who have high intelligence go on this show and they know he doesn't fit the criteria. They know that some of his angles, like what the questions he asks or the way he puts titles in videos and whatnot, if they have issues with that, you should understand you are opening yourself up to that by going on someone else's platform. So in other words, if you don't like it, why not use your status to create your own? And if he's one of the few people to get up and say, hey, I'm going to do what their culture is not doing by interviewing each other, by taking their respective artists from a couple decades ago and resurrecting them in front of the camera and talk about things that we didn't know as kids growing up, and he's willing to do that, to be fair, you have a right to not go on his show and help that. That's all I'm saying. But if you feel like he's a culture vulture, I would love to hear like more from the artists that are calling him out like that. So I watched some of their interviews and I'm still asking the same question. I mean, I get the basis of, again, spreading their message to help awaken a large part of society to do better. I like that part. But if you keep going on the show over and over and over and you got like more than 10 episodes with him, at some point you got to look at yourself and say, well, why am I not doing this for myself? Why am I giving him this platform? And that's, to be honest, how much can you be mad if you're contributing to his growth to be able to be what you perceive as a culture vulture? So is he a culture vulture? At the end of the day, his actions will tell. You have to be the judge of that. I don't watch enough of Vlad to really say that. I've only seen select few guests, so I can't really say on this show, from my perspective, is he a culture vulture? But I will say, if a large amount of entertainers are saying the same thing, you kind of got to look and say, hey, man, what is this guy doing? Because it's not like it's one or two people. There's a large amount of them. But I'm hoping at the end of the day, whatever the problem is, man, people, work this out and get peace, because I believe that there are some people that came on that show with good intentions on both sides, from Vlad and the artist side, and they really cared about getting positive messages out there. There were some shows that educated people on finances, like Jay Morrison was on there, really good dude to listen to. And you had a few others with some intelligence that spoke on some issues that people don't normally address, and they have let it been slept on for like 20 years. So Vlad opened that window whether you like it or not. But the reality is you could do it yourself, and you could have done it before. It's like people getting mad with the Tupac movie and how it was written or exposed to the public, but the people that knew Pac the most have not created a movie. So, if you don't like something, again, why are you not creating it yourself? Why are you not going out here and doing things to your liking? So I hope this video gets out to you, to the artist more so. And hey, man, I rock with people that are good spirited people and have an intent to go out here and help make the world a better place. And I would like to see all you artists come together and do your own show and make that effort of what you're talking about, awakening, a large part of the culture and helping better the culture. I would love to see that. I'm in support of that. All right. Many blessings. Over and out.